The Los Angeles Lakers are facing a situation that nobody saw coming, and what's happening right now could completely reshape how we think about this team's championship aspirations for the rest of this season. Welcome to Lakers News Fan Report, your home for breaking news, exclusive updates, and all the insider information about our beloved Angeles Lakers. Here you're going to get the freshest analysis, the most detailed breakdown, and everything you need to know as we navigate what might be the most crucial stretch of basketball we've seen in years. Today I've got something major to discuss with you, something that affects not just this season, but potentially the entire future direction of this franchise. And I need you to stay with me until the end, because what's unfolding in Los Angeles is far more complex and fascinating than the headlines are telling you. You know, when we talk about the Lakers, when we discuss what makes this organization special, we always come back to one fundamental truth. This franchise has always been defined by its superstars, from Magic and Kareem to Shaq and Kobe, from the Showtime era to the championship runs of the 2000s and 2020. The Lakers have built their legacy on the backs of all-time great players who delivered when it mattered most. And for the past several years, that superstar has been LeBron James, the four-time MVP who came to Los Angeles and delivered us championship number 17, who's continued to defy Father Time and produce at an elite level well into his late 30s and now his 40s. But here's where things get interesting. And here's where the story I'm about to tell you becomes so much more than just another injury update or routine status report. What's happening with the Lakers right now is forcing everyone in the organization, everyone in the media, and every single one of us as fans to confront some difficult questions about the present and the future. We're watching something unfold in real time that could define the next chapter of Lakers basketball. And the implications go far beyond just wins and losses in November. Let me set the stage for you about where we are right now. The Lakers opened their season last month, and for the first time in his entire career, LeBron James wasn't on the court for opening night. That's not a minor footnote. That's a historic moment. We're talking about a player who's been the picture of durability for 2 decades, who's played in more games than almost anyone in NBA history, who's made availability and reliability core parts of his identity as a player. And yet, when the Lakers tipped off their 2025-26 campaign, number 23 was watching from the sideline. But it wasn't just opening night. As we sit here today, LeBron James has missed the entire first 4 weeks of the regular season. 4 full weeks without one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball. 4 weeks of Lakers basketball without the face of the franchise. Without the player who's been the centerpiece of everything we've built over the past several years. And the reason for his absence is something that's been plaguing him since some point during the summer. A condition that's proven more stubborn and more challenging than anyone initially anticipated. Now, before I tell you exactly what's been keeping LeBron off the court, I want you to think about what this means for a team with championship aspirations. Think about the pressure on the rest of the roster to step up. Think about the adjustments that need to be made. Think about how the entire dynamic of the team changes when your best player and primary playmaker isn't available. This is the kind of adversity that can either derail a season or reveal the true character and depth of your roster. And what's happened over these past 4 weeks has been absolutely fascinating. The Lakers have gone 8-3 without LeBron James. Let me say that again for emphasis. 8 wins and 3 losses without the King. This isn't a team barely scraping by, limping through games, and hoping to stay afloat until their superstar returns. This is a team that's been dominating, that's been executing at a high level. That's shown they have multiple players capable of carrying the offensive load and leading this team to victories. And that reality, as encouraging as it is, also creates some very interesting dynamics that we need to discuss. Luka Doncic, the 5-time All-NBA first-team guard who joined the Lakers in a blockbuster move, has been absolutely sensational. He's running the offense with precision. He's creating for others while also getting his own buckets. And he's shown exactly why the front office was so eager to bring him to Los Angeles. Austin Reeves, who's been on absolute tier and looks like a lock for his first All-Star appearance if he can stay healthy, has elevated his game to another level. He's not just a complimentary piece anymore. He's a legitimate scoring threat and playmaker who's proven he can be a number 2 option on a championship caliber team. And then you have the new additions, the guys who came in during the offseason to provide depth and versatility. DeAndre Ayton has been better than expected in the middle, giving us rim protection and rebounding that we desperately needed. Jake LaRavia has fit in seamlessly, providing that 3-and-D presence that's so valuable in today's NBA. Even Marcus Smart, who many people thought was washed, has brought veteran leadership and defensive intensity that's helped set the tone for this group. This is a deep roster, a talented roster, and they've proven they can win without LeBron James. So here's the situation that nobody wants to talk about, but everyone's thinking about what happens when LeBron comes back. How do you reintegrate a player of his caliber and his usage rate into a team that's been thriving without him? How do you balance keeping everyone happy and involved while also acknowledging that LeBron James, when healthy, is still one of the best players on the planet? These are delicate questions that J.J. Redick and the coaching staff are going to have to navigate very carefully. But let's back up and talk about what's actually been keeping LeBron off the court. Because understanding the medical side of this is crucial to understanding the timeline and the potential risks moving forward. LeBron James has been dealing with sciatica affecting his right side, a condition that's been bothering him since some point in the summer and has proven more challenging to overcome than initially projected. Now, for those of you who don't know what sciatica is, let me break it down in terms that make sense. Sciatica is basically irritation of the sciatic nerve, which is this major nerve that's formed from 3 different nerve roots in your lower spine. These nerves, which doctors label as L4, L5, and S1, come together to form the sciatic nerve that runs from your lower back through your buttocks and down your leg. When something like a herniated disc or a bulging disc puts pressure on one of these nerve roots, it causes pain that radiates down that entire pathway. We're not talking about a simple muscle strain or a bruise that heals in a few days. We're talking about nerve pain, which is a completely different animal. The pain from sciatica typically shoots down from the buttocks area all the way down the leg, often extending below the knee. It can be excruciating, it can affect your strength and mobility, and it's notoriously unpredictable in terms of recovery time. Some people get better in a few weeks with rest and physical therapy. Others struggle with it for months. And here's the really concerning part for Lakers fans. The age demographic that most commonly experiences herniated discs and sciatica issues is right around 40 years old. LeBron James is 40 years old. Now I'm not trying to be doom and gloom here, but we have to be realistic about what we're dealing with. LeBron is superhuman in many ways. His longevity and durability have been unprecedented in NBA history, but he's still subject to the same biological realities as everyone else. The fact that he's dealing with this specific injury at this specific age isn't a coincidence. Studies show that if you look at the general population, somewhere between 33 and 37% of 40-year-olds have bulging discs, even if they've never experienced pain. It's a natural part of aging. And when you add the stress and physical demands of playing professional basketball at the highest level, the risk factors only increase. So what does the recovery process look like for something like this? How do you get from being unable to play basketball to being ready to compete at NBA level? It's a gradual, systematic process that requires patience and careful monitoring. You start with rest and anti-inflammatory treatments to reduce the irritation on the nerve. Then you progress to pool work and low-impact exercises that don't put stress on the spine. Once you can handle that without pain, you introduce more gravity-based work like jogging and light running. Then you build up to full-speed running, cutting, jumping, and all the basketball-specific movements that the game requires. The key thing that medical professionals worry about with nerve-related injuries isn't just the pain, it's the potential for weakness and loss of function. If LeBron has lost strength in certain muscle groups because of the nerve irritation, that creates a risk for compensatory injuries. If he can't fully protect himself because certain muscles aren't firing properly, he's more likely to strain something else or put himself in a vulnerable position. That's why the Lakers medical staff has been so cautious with his return. Why they haven't rushed him back, even though the team has been winning without him. But here's where the story takes a very positive turn. And here's where Lakers fans can start to get genuinely excited about what's coming. Just recently, we got news that LeBron James participated in his first full practice of the season and his first 5-on-5 workout. He's been putting in work with the South Bay Lakers, our G League affiliate, while the main roster has been on their road trip. And according to insider reports, LeBron looked great, felt great, moved well, and didn't show any signs of issues as he worked through that practice. The sources are saying that LeBron is motivated and eager to get back on the court, potentially as soon as mid to late this month. That means we could be looking at a return in the next couple of weeks, which will be absolutely huge for this team as we head into the heart of the season. Now, I want to be clear that there's still some uncertainty here. Nerve injuries can be tricky, and there's always a risk of regression or setback during the recovery process. The Lakers are going to be very careful about how they manage his return, making sure he's truly ready before they put him back in game situations. When it comes to the specific movements that could be problematic for LeBron, it's important to understand the mechanics of how a herniated disc affects your body. Generally, bending forward and flexing your spine is what causes the most pain with this type of injury. The good news for basketball players is that a lot of the sport is played in an upright position with extension and arching movement, which typically don't aggravate a herniated disc as much. The concern would be if the herniation is causing severe narrowing of the spinal canal, which could make any kind of movement painful. So where does all of this leave us as Lakers fans? What should we be thinking about as we watch this situation unfold over the next few weeks? First and foremost, we should be incredibly encouraged by how the team has performed in LeBron's absence. This isn't a roster that's going to fall apart without him. We have legitimate talent. We have depth. We have multiple guys who can create offense and make plays. That's exactly what you want to see from a championship contending team. Second, we should be cautiously optimistic about LeBron's return. The fact that he's back to full practice and 5-on-5 work is a great sign. It means the injury is healing, the pain is manageable, and he's regaining the strength and mobility he needs to play at a high level. But we also need to be patient and trust the medical staff to make the right decisions about his timeline. Rushing him back too soon could lead to a setback that costs us much more in the long run. Third, and this is perhaps the most interesting aspect of this whole situation, we need to think about what the rotation and the offense look like when LeBron does return. J.J. Redick is going to have some fascinating decisions to make about minutes distribution, about who closes games, about how to keep everyone involved and happy while also maximizing our chances of winning. This is a good problem to have, but it's still a problem that needs to be solved. Looking ahead to the rest of the season and beyond, there are also some bigger picture questions that this situation raises. LeBron is on an expiring $52.6 million contract. He's been the league's oldest active player for 3 seasons running. The rise of players like Austin Reeves and the addition of Luka Doncic means the Lakers have other options for building their future. What does LeBron's free agency look like next summer? Does he want to come back for an unprecedented 24th season? Do the Lakers want to commit significant money to a 41-year-old player who's now shown some vulnerability to injury? These are complex questions that don't have easy answers, but they're questions that everyone in the organization is going to have to grapple with over the next several months. For now, though, the focus needs to be on getting LeBron healthy, integrating him back into the rotation, and positioning this team for a deep playoff run. We have the talent, we have the coaching, and we have the depth to compete with anyone in the Western Conference. The fact that we've gone 8-3 without our best player should give every Lakers fan confidence that this team is built for success regardless of who's on the court on any given night. And when we do get LeBron back at full strength, when we can deploy him strategically and manage his minutes to keep him fresh for the playoffs, we're going to be absolutely terrifying for opposing teams to deal with. That's the vision, that's the goal, and that's what we're all working toward, Doc. So here's my final analysis of this entire situation. LeBron James dealing with sciatica at age 40 is concerning, but it's not catastrophic. The injury is healing, he's progressing through his recovery, and all signs point to a return in the near future. The team has proven they can win without him, which actually makes us stronger and deeper than we would be if we were completely dependent on his production. When he does come back, we're going to have to navigate some interesting roster dynamics. But those are good problems to have for a team with championship aspirations. Now I want to hear from you, Lakers Nation. What do you think about how the team has performed without LeBron? Are you worried about his recovery and the potential for setbacks? How do you think J.J. Redick should handle the rotation when LeBron returns? What are your expectations for this team as we head into December and January? Drop all your thoughts and opinions in the comments below because I want to know what this incredible Lakers community is thinking about our season and our future. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to stay updated on every development with LeBron's recovery, every game recap, and every piece of Lakers news as it breaks, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Here at Lakers News Fan Report, you're getting the most comprehensive coverage, the most detailed analysis, and all the passion that our beloved Lakers deserve. Smash that like button if you're confident in this team's ability to compete for a championship. Share this video with your fellow Lakers fans, and I'll see you in the next update with more breaking news from Los Angeles. Let's go Lakers. Our time is now.